I can spare you a life. If not, don't blame me for being unkind. This word makes them wonder. Look at each other. Then laugh out loud, haha. He said, I want to see the devil too. In the end, how are you not going to be gracious to us? She looked up and called little Africa. The iron bird immediately came. In the presence of the guards, he gave orders to me, while the little Lady Lao came to chirp. The cold chip thinks it's just a bunch of useless. They haven't done anything yet. The bird blocked the way and threw the kick. He grabbed his head and pulled a guy up. They made the people below ask, what is it? Let's catch it. The masks are nothing. That was made to run away by the concubine. 8 grasshoppers. Love village, La Hamlet. Make the hot-blooded judge scream obnoxiously. Don't worry about that bird. Let's get the Kier demons first. The culture has also emerged. He rushed to attack the photographer. He's serious. The air came at the right time. Get ready to fight. Culture converges into a tiger. To the punch. Then the photographer here also turns into a panda. But face to face. 2 VA punches into each other that create powerful aftershocks, generating a source of intense shock waves. 6 adventurers find it full of anxiety, calling out photographer. He's over here. Immediately use the technique of light enlightenment. Go straight to culture. Get him all punched up. That's why I soared up into the sky 100 miles and lost my slippers. The judge stood nearby and was horrified. When culture just takes form. On the other side of the river, he's trying to attack now. Bald head named Much Hair. His love spirit is still fighting. The photographer saw that and helped. Atmospheric gravity escape. It makes him feel trapped. Taking the opportunity to land a punch on the top of the pond. He then turned to the photographer. The judge looked at it stunned. Silly people ask these little demons, why is it possible? When he looks to the other side, the people here are also being fed to their mouths. Nie is in love with Lin Nun with red wings. He punishes them gently. The black men are lying on the ground. Smoke his head lying unconscious. The judge saw that and screamed in panic. It's broken. It's a gold fighter. On the other side, the men in black shouted for 7 hours. And lay down on the ground. It's just an iron bird, with the power to fight back. Make the judge cry out loud. I wonder why these demons are so bad. 4 golden fighters. 23, that is my master of silver. They all lost at their hands. At this time, the previous image of the rose appeared. I told you not to make me 7. Make him stagger like a tree. Determination and energy say you can only take risks. The spirit that emits the spirit force is the bear. Are growling. Then suddenly, 6 adventurers came with a punch in the hand. It made him bleed. And then a punch goes straight to the bottom. Make him breathe. Crouching down crying with my chest. Lying on the ground full of failure. Photographer with park trash and urinal. African seriously looking at. Next door, their black robes lying on the ground motionless. No longer able to fight. 6 wash your hands and ask, how did people deal with it? Do I need to call now? Are the guards here? The judge gritted his teeth. You'd better let me go. If anything happens to us, the God of our world, I will not ignore you. Give him one and say, we've all done it anyway. If you have many words, I will bury you alive. So the mute Shen 6 immediately ridiculed. Looks like you're scared to death too. The evil of your family. I soon knew. You don't have to threaten. And the dog asked how to say it. We've got to get out of here fast. Otherwise, I don't know if there will be an ambush. He told me to take him and leave. And the rest of you let go. He was surprised to ask where the chemistry was. Please call your sister. Let him come quickly. 6 secret adventures asked to release all of us SAO. Photographer says Ba named Supreme Leader Kim Kier. They've all been seriously injured by the spirit. Maybe in the next few years, I can't even restore the VI. Not even the rest of the white folks. There's nothing to worry about. Let them go. Little Africa immediately spared the culture. I see that, said the cold. We caught these 2 oligarchs and their NDTO. Now we're going to the SAO capital. The photographer said I can't. The 3 great families always abstain from each other. So it's not going to be easy to handle. The owner can. They won't be able to deal with him. But sometimes, God of the world, they even sent someone to bring him back. You should also go to the Monk Training Association. Their power is strong. But always maintain a neutral position. These 2 men, one of them, are God's people. One is the leader of the Dark Society. From their place, I'm sure we'll be able to get some intelligence. He told his friends to go. The next morning in the Holy Land. Your face is a pile of shit. He was so angry that his arm was pressed against the wall of his chair. Makes it crack. The men knelt down in horror, trying to explain. We really didn't expect it. Deacon culture is defeated by a right. The others are all. Master of the White Bank. There's also a strange bird. The golden martial artists were not their opponents at all. Speaking of which, they're all laying their heads on the ground. The old man asked with blood. That's why you keep coming back. SAO, so that the deacon elders and deacon culture are arrested. Why did they know so much? It's not a small thing at all. They should have solved them all soon. He was near the photographer's voice. It's really finding its own way to die. Let's investigate. Justification and Li and Hoa were arrested where? Let us investigate all the people. I used to go back to photography. The sky is out. They thought they had a monk training association behind them. It's already won. Send commands down. He is the man of heaven. To leave the city of Quang Wei. They all killed me. The officers immediately received the order. Wait for the judge to remember that Ra was right. Go and invite the 2 elders. The judge and jury are here. The photographer right now. Yang Han is worried. Aesthetically, they're all Black Kim fighters. This will be detrimental to the photographer. Ask the wise photographer. He said the name of the culture. It's the contact of the world gods in the Dark Guild. Why is he right? Yang Han said coldly, then we have to use every means to get his mouth out. Let's see the gods of the world. What the hell are you playing? If they really dare to betray the city of Quang Wei, we will definitely fight them to the end. Suddenly, the little squirt came and landed on the table, to make Yang Han full of surprise. I asked him why he was still carrying this bird. The photographer explained, it's not just a normal bird. It's very powerful. Yang Xin looked at the angel with a sword. What are you doing with this broken sword? It's all leaking. You can buy a new bar for me. And this bird too. It's not cute. or let me give you a gold-plated child. Listen to this horrible criticism. It drives me crazy. Think hateful things don't know good or bad. The old man is dead. And so he screamed furiously. Duong Han asked the photographer, I think that bird can talk. What's he saying? Then she went to the bird and tried to touch it. Then it bounces away. And then fly out the window. The photographer speaks up. The old man paused that they were still outside waiting for you. Please allow me to go first. After the results of the examination, please. Please notify me immediately. Yang Han happily agreed. Remember to pay attention to safety. I'll have the Dark Elders escort you back. The photographer agreed. Then you have to bother me. The aesthetic has a fake black Kim protection. I'm afraid that even the judge will not dare to come. It doesn't bother me anymore. So the two of you said goodbye to each other. Take care and leave. Bird. Little Africa also quickly flew back to the photographer. Speak up. It's been 1,000 years. But the city of Kwangwi still stands as before. Think of those days. I'm still shuddering, really. I heard that the owner of this place is also IP. They must be the children of my family. Smile, ha ha ha, Louis. Your family's family. It was destroyed a long time ago. The owner is a man of snow. AP Duck Bao's son. Then you don't know. The snow is one of our branches. Your master came to see me. You also have to call me an ancestor. The photographer said he was my sidekick. There's nothing terrible about it. He then cut into the head and said, that's a bad boy. The heir is not small to Black Kim legend. You didn't put it in my eyes. He clicked his lips with a faint smile. The tradition is just the beginning of practice. I don't know or why. What does this word make you wonder? The photographer asked again, do you know in the Dark Ages, why do animals rebel? He said they must have encountered something. A photographer can think of that as well. At that time, there was only one animal promoted. Unleash the spirit to reach the super Vietnamese world. Transmission period. I can feel it. The 300 most powerful spiritual teachers in the whole world. The 6th generation decided to kill him. But I didn't expect to be defeated by 7 under the indignation. I love Kier. I've ordered all 6 lovers to stand up. To attack humanity again. The false power of the great empires. It's not their opponent at all. That's why we lost the battle one after another. In just a few months, that people across empires has fallen into a broken house. That was the year at the beginning of the Dark Ages. It turns out that's what the brain says. No blame then. There were not many people. You can become a legendary spirit master again. But that bone is so powerful. Photographer replied, actually, that's what I said. Except I've never seen it either. I heard that. Then you must like Yang's body very much. It can be seen as such. The New York Times is just the beginning. Then tell me, how to be considered a fake? The photographer explained, in that world, the legendary fake power, just a normal person. When he finished speaking, his eyes opened and he was filled with anger. It also makes you feel affected. The soul wants to go out. Amazing look, too. The spirit of the photographer is shining. You're so strong and so cool. The photographer continued, for you, the legendary super Vietnamese lovers, it's already considered invincible. But only when we're at our strongest. It's just a concept. They could also kill people. He turned to say that he was the one. Do you want to go back to your original body? To be able to explore that magical world? It makes me feel like a tree right now. Can't say a word. He looked at the photographer and thought. In the body of the photographer, it's definitely the soul of a super-powered fake. How did he change it? He grinned. He legend is just beginning. Of course, I want to go. The photographer also laughed. Then let me practice to the golden age first. He shouts bad P. A scene in Doozy's house, an old man said. Park Trach, this is the relic of Doogia, the fire and the moon. I'll pass it on to you today. Wait until you grow up. Then you will be the chief of my tribe. Take it and say, Chief, such a precious person. The truth is I dare not accept. The old man replied sadly, I've been out of shape for too long. You are the owner of my house. It's so wrong with hive paralysis. We are fortunate to have talent like you. Despite his young age, but he has become a lover of white silver spirit. Only you today. To be able to shoulder the responsibility, this family town, and then this patriarchy. You can totally get it. He thought there was no photographer to help. Maybe I'm still at a beginner level. Then resolutely said the patriarch. I will definitely break the family. Do not disgrace the mission you have entrusted. The chief laughed happily, haha. The kid already understands. That's right, Tran Gia North Town, father and the whole family in the city. They all sent people here. Show your will to be with us. But he shook his head in rejection. He told me I had to help my friends complete their career. There's no need to think. They didn't even get away that year. And now again. Also during that time. 6 in the north. Kwong Wei now. 6 Nin is Love Golden Master 3 levels. The father of 6. He thinks 6. This kid. Not expected. He is the strongest person they have ever been. He looked at 6 and asked his son. Where did you go yesterday? The United States does not practice all day. They only know how to hurt. He is a genius like 6. Calmly eat the grapes, asked father. You're back. 6 Nin sign head upset, said outside called father. He is called father at home. Your son is bad now. I know you're a genius. All the other families want to be friends with my family. But you shouldn't be too boastful. There's a big problem this time. 6 foolish people say you're wrong, Dad. But 6 Nin shouted wrong Sao. He gritted his teeth. No matter how you mess up at home. But I dare to run to the wall. Peeping late at night women in the shower. If this is transmitted outside, the face of my family is gone. 6 silly people ask why this is your fault. Next time I won't be discovered. 6 Nin Sa to say. He said, it's because of this that he sent people here. It amazes him. I asked him if he had talked to them. But he said no. Ha ha ha, boy, I like the girl Ku of Ra Sao. Of course, they've grown up together since childhood. I want your father to come to me. Too bad for them. Hear that 6 adventurers pretend to hug the belly screaming. Make 6 Nin laugh, haha. They think, but they have already talked to us. Suddenly, someone came running to tell the old man. The lady of the household has arrived. I heard that, and my father raised his eyes in amazement. But not enough to react. Miss Keir pushed the door screaming. Call 6. She goes in on a limb and screams. If you dare to run, don't look at my face next time. Her name is Snow Pepper, and she's a 6-person shooter. Before I could react, the snow came, pinching his ear. Made 6 adventurers scream. The snow asked, "Yesterday, did you peek at the bathroom?" But the 6 elk adventurers said no. The snow is stronger than the sound of my voice. 6 knew, admittedly, yes. He turned to say, "I was wrong, Snow. Take it easy." She glared up and asked, "I've been watching your shower a few times lately." 6 stuttering answers 1 times 2 times, I can't remember anymore. To dissipate the snow, irritably, she blushed and asked what she saw. 6 thoughts for a few seconds. Admit that you saw it all. The snow is like butter. She laughed and asked if she was beautiful. To make 6 adventurers as bewildered as a fish. Then he laughed and said it was beautiful. But she's pinching even more. He denied being beautiful. So it's a feeding match for the mouth to begin with. 6 the adventurers could not bear to cry out in haste to me for help. But look at the man who died in her life. Make 6 helpless adventurers leave village to bear the battle. Change the scene on the owner's side. Someone is talking to the owner. Be the owner of the party. Wear it to the news. Due to weather changes, so our interest outside the city grows very quickly. We need to send some elvish masters out hunting. New is certain. We need to control the number of animals outside the city, to avoid it will later become a threat to the people. The owner confirmed that the master said no. Fortunately, there is a new medicine, so our power has increased a lot. If there are 9 pieces, either way, we can minimize the casualties to the maximum. Then think of photography. That he's mad at everyone else. Quickly ask the owner. The owner said no. That's right. Remember to keep an eye on the Dark Lord. Let's talk outside of this. Master Yi also asked me to bring something back. Please see. The priest took out a book. Say this is a book. That's what Master Yi found. In an ancient cave. I don't know how much it's worth. And I don't know what it says on it. The owner quickly picked it up and opened the book. It's amazing when a bright source of power comes out. Make up all the hair. I think the soul is pure like this. It was the first time I could smell it. There are some projects of love. What are the other things, mister? I turned to ask the priest, where did this book come from? He replied, this is the book you wear. Found on the body of a false prophet, while exploring in the cave of interest. As far as I'm concerned, maybe that fake guy. It has also reached the legendary peak. It's just a shame that the cave is so dangerous. So the epididymis, I couldn't go any further. He just took this book and came out. The owner said it must be a treasure. I just don't understand what it's about. Master IP said Master IP. There seems to be a genius in the Holy LAN Academy. I can read a lot of old books. It is said that the Holy Fire. He can also read. Should we invite him here? It makes the owner startled. Tell me not to mention him to me. Seeing that made him surprised. Reminds me of the owner. This is the object. Lord Yi had to take great risks. Just brought it back. If we can solve the magic in it, would be a very good thing. With Kwong Wei City, please put down your personal feelings for the time being. The owner can talk. Then Master IP, please come and invite him. But I can't show up. The priest agreed. Then I would like to leave first. Then he quickly left for the hospital. Suddenly, I saw Zhao Yu practicing under the tree, that the gas emits strongly. I wonder what kind of gas this kid is. At least it's a 3-star copper bar. He looks less than 6 years old. How can that be? Fortunately, genius like this has it been kept in the owner's office. If only the Dark Lord knew. It will not be from any tricks. To get rid of it. Maybe it's the photographer's sister. Suddenly, the photographer spoke up. Who's number 3 in the world of lightning? I love the great Black Kim. Master IP. I don't know what happened when my father came to see me. The photographer stepped forward powerfully. Silly people think. I often travel with the Russian Emperor Epiphora everywhere. And this kid knows what I'm doing. Then he laughed. Hello, I am a spinster. I was just about to say something, and suddenly, the little girl flew up to me, to make a spy jerk shoot people. He looked at the bird that landed on the photographer's head. It's amazing to think this is the spirit. Ye too laughed softly. Tell me to hear. In the city of Kwangwi, we have a genius boy. So I want to come and have a look. In my mind, even the spirit is there. It's not that simple. I have heard that my brother is a talented photographer. That's why I came here to meet you. The photographer looked at, asked the old priest directly to find me. I'm afraid the goal isn't that simple. Makes him stiff. I don't think it's like a child at all. He nodded and admitted. Actually, I came here because I wanted to pray. The photographer knew right away that something was wrong. I thought I was the owner. They came to find me to fight again. Haha. So he said, Master IP, just say, don't be afraid. If I knew, I would say it all. You are the chief of the dead. Of course, he is also my senior. To make a face. Understand right? I don't blame the owner for burning him. He coughed for a few hours to calm down. Then take out the book. Bow regally. When Yi and I were outside wearing Russian, I happened to get an item. Let's see what this is. The photographer took it by the hand. He felt the breath from the book. That this gas must be an inanimate object. He quickly flipped the book out. The lady next door also asked, What is this? It's very similar to the words of the Holy Roman Empire. Previously, the soul of the Buddha was strong enough. You can hear the sound of the spirit. The bird can talk. Make IP to jerk shot, people uttered. I know how to talk too. Ruli laughed and disparaged little Fei Bao. But he also identified himself as a high school teacher. This is not the word of time at all. God of the Empire. I turned to him and said, This is the word for the Imperial Lan. It was one of the 5 empires founded after the fall of the Holy Empire. The devil asked again, Then it's not also transformed based on the words of the Imperial God or Bad Sao. So we didn't even guess the other 8. The photographer said that. Tell me what the book is about. And guess what? It seems like a kind of magic, used to conquer the spirit of love. Don't you read this article? This is the language used to control the spirit. Photographer laughed hee. Say, this time, you only got 3. You dare to put it on your face. Do you want me to tell you? God's ears also listen. And the priest next to him was sweating silently. Even his spirit. You can also understand parts. But I and IP don't understand anything. This isn't too bad. The photographer glanced at the elder monk. You don't understand why. To make the monk bewildered and shy. I don't understand. The photographer asked again. I don't know where my grandfather got this. I still hope you keep it carefully. It's not a normal thing. There is a record in this book of a battle. It is called the Holy Ghost of War. It can control countless love words. Black Kim step up to form a super-level strategy. But even if it's a fake legend, once SA in this battle, they will also be easily killed. Hearing this word makes you understand. I think, from what we understand about the project on Kier, then maybe this isn't wrong. Not expected. The photographer can understand the order of the LAN era. His empire is much stronger than ours. Yep, too exclaimed. Even the legendary fake power that died. The power of this battle is terrifying. Speak up and ask, if the owner arrange a great battle of thousands of ghosts, love spirit, in this city of Kwangwi, what would it be? Smiling photographer, haha, you just need enough love. Then, even if the enemy has 10 legendary spirit masters, don't he even dream of being able to attack the owner? It makes you wonder why this is true. The photographer confirmed, of course. IP2 thought if he could arrange this battle around the owner, you can take advantage of this to protect most of the people in the city. Then he hurriedly asked the photographer, so can you arrange this battle? The photographer replied confidently, this battle layout isn't a big deal. Just do what the book says. Okay, just the thing. I want to arrange this battle. It takes a lot of time. The material is also difficult to assemble. It takes more than 1,000 black gold lovers. Yep, to reply, this ensemble of spirits is no big deal. How long will it take to complete the process? In my mind, such a strong battle would take up to 10. 25 can be completed. As long as it can be arranged, it's worth as much time as it takes. In this way, Kwangwi Kai City, there's another way to save lives. But the photographer suddenly said 2 months. Make IP tutor like butter. Startled to ask again something. It's hard to understand why. The monk was shocked to think it can be completed in just 2 months. It's unimaginable. It's so good. They say I represent the government. I invite you to help me arrange the holy war. The photographer suddenly refused. Afraid we can't. We don't have time. This word is to make IP too full of confusion. He stuttered, asking there was no time. This battle is related to the safety of the city. Kwangwi is a member of the city. It can be like a photographer. I am a member of the Kwangwi Kai City, not wrong. But there's no obligation. Help the government do this. It's not fair. If you want me to set up 1,000 demons, it's not impossible. Like a former monk, they cannot represent the government. I feel it would be better to be the boss to talk. After all, the Holy Spirit is a big problem. In the heart of the photographer, he was almost beaten to death before. He didn't even come this time, but he wanted me to take care of him. I also understand that Ra wants to be useful. So he offered to marry. As long as you agree, help us arrange 10,000 ghosts, love spirit battle. Then you are the god of this city. We can provide you with a great resource. But the photographer raised his hand to stop him. I don't know how the old man felt. Become the government. How can you provide us with a source of cultivation? He laughed, haha. Soul knitting. Stop soul knitting. I'm even in the legend. We can all find you. No matter what the law. If you want, we can find it. Hear these words. Make the bird and the photographer run out of his words. Immediately explain. That's the old monk. You may have just returned from out of town. To become a master. Maybe not tell you how to make those drugs. Of Quang Wei Kai City, they are all provided by us. If you want me to have a 9-legged soul, tell me for an hour. I'll get another 5 tomorrow. It makes the soul howl. The photographer sighed bluntly. I have a small request for you and me. I want to move to the hospital, and so on. I want to be with IP and so on. Otherwise, we don't have a hunch. Cannot be arranged. Goddess love for God says this. It fills the air with feet. Quickly return to the capital. Say this to the owner. This word made him shiver. Suddenly stand up. He broke the table in front of him to escape. Hot blood roll. His sleeves screamed. The son of a bitch raped him too much. I have to beat him to death today. He doesn't want to see the sun tomorrow. The priest quickly advised the master to be less angry about this, the safety of billions of people in the city. Please think again. The dog's blood poured into his brain. I love the Holy Spirit. It's probably because that kid was set up. This guy doesn't know how to use the language. What language can deceive my daughter? Now you want to use the things of evil and deceive me. It's a fantasy. But Ipitsu prevented him from becoming the master. I see that the photographer is not lying. If he's lying, I didn't say 55 was just 2 months. If it is not done quickly, it will be exposed. The owner replied, even if you can really set up the Holy Spirit. How about that? He wants to discuss terms with me. There's no door. I'll go to his hospital. If he doesn't take care of himself. Don't blame me for not being polite. The priest anxiously hands out Theo to the master. Master, please think again. 1000 Ma Love Lin. This battle is caused by more than thousands of Black Kim love spirit. It's a very magical battle. If you're angry in your heart, do something bad in there. When the war suddenly broke out, there was a problem. Then you know what to do. What does the owner mean? I need to be obedient to my daughter. Advice to solve. I heard this photographer is honest with me. At the current age of the child. In return, the women of other nations. It has been sold out. The rebels have no power. But based on his genius, there are levels in all aspects. In fact, it is also very worthy of the child. Maybe 10 years later, he will be the false power of the city of Quang Wei. This teenager, maybe it's a good subject for me. The owner heard here and tightened the punch. I think that's ridiculous. Such a young age has mastered deception. Who knows what it's like to marry him? More than that, we know. This little boy picked flowers and caught butterflies everywhere. To stop the children of the dragon. There is also the weakness of that why and family too, if you mention this again. Don't blame me for turning around. It makes you think in your mind. You don't have 2 stars. That is, the owner and IP2 went to the photographer's hospital. As soon as he arrived, he spoke up. What wind blew you here? The owner was startled and almost tripped over. He's crazy, and the blue tendon floats and the gas floats. turning around a part of the luminous force, exploding.